Stu here with Raid, Shadow Legends, and Septimus. So this champion's been around for quite a while. He's needed to be changed up, I've always felt that. If you look at my older videos, I'm not saying this about the champion because of the state of the game. You know I always come truthfully to you about anything in the game, about these champions, just like I did with you with Whisper when she came out. Don't use her. She's only for in-game fun with Relentless gear. She's not for progression. She's not going to help you. I got a lot of hate about that. Whirlum is not worth it. They give you these champions and they're not worth it. Please do not book Whirlum no matter what you do. He is not good for progression in the game. He's not good really in the game whatsoever. He has some cool mechanics just like Dark Aethel, just like Dark Elahane. They look cool on paper, but they're not going to be used. So please do not waste your books on those guys. Anyways, that doesn't have anything to do with Septimus. That's just telling you that I come to you truthfully. And what I'm telling you about Septimus is he's a good champion, right? You don't need books in him. You don't need it at all. Please don't put books in him. You don't have to have it. You're going to save those books for something that you definitely need to get a skill cooldown for on a legendary, because we're not getting any new books on our new 90-day login. So make sure you keep the books you have. So he attacks one enemy, you get an extra turn if you kill somebody, and you reset this A2. The A2 does damage based off of enemy max HP, so it hits very hard on high HP bosses that we fight. He also goes through shields and block damage. Now that doesn't really play any kind of effect in this game. These kind of champions traditionally aren't very good in arena whatsoever. You can take Royal Guard, Cold Heart, all of them into arena. None of them function well. The only one that does moderately okay is Seer if she has a lot of buffs, and if the other team is running somebody with 100,000 HP or 90,000 HP, somewhere around there. Something like a Cernek that has a lot of HP, something like a Mountain King, Pumpkin Jack, all those ones that would have very high HP, then you could use her. So they don't. So let's take him out of the equation of ever using him in arena, and just think about him in clan boss and think about him doing through dungeon runs. So you get this new champion, you pull this champion, and you're like, whoa, lightning, I got a legendary, it's Septimus. Back in the day, he was actually pretty cool because he was the only one that could extend debuffs that was really good, that wasn't Warlord, right? Warlord was out there. But now we've got Vizier, we've got a lot of new champions in the game. The meta for clan boss has completely changed. You have to bring in high defense, right? You have to bring in high defense to fight Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. So Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss really is not going to have room for a Septimus. And we used to try to bring Septimus even back in the day, but then it switched so much that we just weeded Septimus out because there wasn't room in our team with him. With Grizzled Jarl in there, everybody else doing what we needed to do, even teams without poisons would just counter in there with really high defense, doing tons of damage based off of defense, having that lasting staying power because they can take the hits further in there, made it so we didn't even need Septimus to be used anymore. And we wanted him, we wanted him to do this skill too, right? We want him to, but I'm going to tell you right now, they really need to go back and revise him. If you look at my videos from months ago, you'll see when I went over Banner Lords and Legendaries and how I would change up Legendaries to make them, good for today's game. I would make this an AoE. Okay, so he's on par with Royal Guard. There is no reason why he shouldn't be AoE with this move right here. It wouldn't break anything. Again, remember, we're not taking it. Arena is out of the equation. These guys do not function well in arena at all. So what would he do? He would be just like a Royal Guard. You would get him and be like, holy crap, I've got a 4-turn cooldown that's like a Royal Guard. He's like a Seer. He's going to do it. He's going to go in there and do great damage for me on everybody in the wave and on the boss. That's a great feeling to get a champion like that. And then this ability is pretty cool. Can reset the cooldown. I know people like to use him sometimes in like keeps 15 and your keeps just so he can kill somebody and keep going. There are way better teams to use instead of this legendary for that. You don't need to use it for that. There are way better farmers than this legendary for a farmer. You know that. So there's no reason to force to use this champion for anything in the game actually. And then this needs to be increased probably to 40%. I would like to increase it to 40%. Damage inflicted by each attack increases by 30% if the current whoever you're attacking is over 50% HP. That's kind of like a cool gimmick mechanic. Unless you force it and really try to build this up, it's not a big deal. You just kind of, yeah, all right, that's cool. We've got it there. If we do a little bit more spike damage sometimes, we know why. We know why we're getting that. But other than that, he's a pretty basic, right, pretty regular champion, right? Nothing fancy about him. Let's run him through spiders right here so we can see. We've got him on a team where we better hit a decreased defense, otherwise we're in big trouble. We're going to die. Please hit this decreased defense. Let's go, madam. Okay, we got it. We're going to do everything based off of enemy max HP. There we go, 1,200. Now I don't have 1,252,000 it was, I think. So I don't have him in the greatest gear in the world. We'll go over his gear at the end and you can see how much damage I'm doing with him, what kind of critical damage I have on him. Again, these type of champions all about, wow, we didn't even beat it with that group. We needed just a little bit more damage. I think we're going to be in trouble here. But you guys get the gist, right? If he was AoE, if we were using him to do AoE here in AoE just like we use Royal Guards. Because obviously, if you have a Royal Guard, you're going to use a Royal Guard over Septimus. You just are. You're going to use a Cold Heart over Septimus in Fire Knight. You're going to use a Cold Heart over Septimus even here because her Heartseeker has a component to it that's much better. And since he's single target damage, I mean, it can't even compete. So he really needs to be AoE. That A2, it's on a 4-turn cooldown, just like Seer, just like Royal Guard, just like the rest. Really, really needs to be. Okay, if she's going to feed here and heal, whew, we were going to be in trouble. Okay, so normally that would be 22 seconds or much faster on a different team. We'd down it right away. Let's go into Fire Knight, then we'll go into Ice Golem, and we'll look a little bit more about what Septimus brings to the table. So I've got him in here. Normally, I would have another Cold Heart in here. I would not have a Septimus in here. I'd have one more Cold Heart added in to get 4 attacks on her A1, to do an A3 Heartseeker that does damage based off of enemy max HP and just blows everything up, right? Drops the turn meter, blows it up. So what do we really need? What does he bring to the table for us in these runs? He can take another turn if he kills somebody with his A1, sure. If he kills somebody. That's a hard thing to do with his A1 when you're going through dungeons like this. It can happen, sure. It's not going to be very often. Can happen. His A2 in here hits for, let's see, that was his A1. Let's see what an A2 is. 4-turn cooldown. Keep in mind, it's, you know, if it was on a 2-turn cooldown, or again, AoE on a 4-turn cooldown like everybody else's, see, he didn't really add much. And then when we get here, he's not giving us our multiple hits like Cold Heart would do. And he's not depleting the turn meter either. So it's just kind of a hard sell, right? And here we're not going to, okay, somebody's going to die here. He might even die here. No, we're going to make it. We're going to make it because she just energized. She's going to get a chance to come back. That's how good that fast this energize is with her depleting the turn meter. Boom. So we got it. It's just, you know, when there are so many other good champions out there, one's a rare, one's an epic, when you even have somebody like Husk. Husk does AoE based on enemy max HP. Does a really good job at it too, and within that move, a component to stun. Husk can do AoE based off of enemy max HP, just like Royal Guard, but he can also stun everybody with that move. It's pretty sweet, but Husk is just a bad affinity. There we go, we hit again. So a 4-turn cooldown for a single target hit is not amazing to me. It's just not amazing to me. Sure, they fixed his AI, but I even knew, like I said, when I did those videos about what we need to do to bring those legendaries up, to bring those legendaries, to make them viable, where people are excited to get those legendaries. This is one of them I talked about, and he really needs that. I'm sure. Let me know in the comments below whether you agree with that or not, but I mean, look at what I'm saying. Try to understand what I'm talking about with Cold Heart, with Royal Guard, with Husk, with anybody else, with even Seer that does damage based off of enemy max HP and AoE on a 4-turn cooldown. You can clearly see that this legendary needs some love. Sure, he can extend debuffs in Clan Boss. Well, if you made his A2 AoE, it's not going to affect the Clan Boss. It's not going to make him stronger in the Clan Boss. It's only going to make him better in regular dungeons. So yeah, you need to do that. For sure you need to do that. And it won't affect Clan Boss whatsoever. He'll still function exactly the same. He'll still do enemy damage based on enemy max HP on his A2. He'll still extend debuffs just like he would on his A1 or A2 off of his passive. So he's good to go. Right here, I'm going to bring him in here as my DPSer to try to take down the side minions as quickly as possible so that we can get back on the boss and do damage to the boss. Now, what other champions would you bring in to do that with? I mean, there are tons of other champions you could use for that, to do damage on those. Royal Guard would be a great one. You've seen me bring Royal Guard through here and do that with. I hope this team can make it through here very easy. We don't have a cooldown reduction, and I brought in Grizzled. I didn't know I was bringing in Grizzled. That's fine. Great champion. We don't have heals, not real good heals. We got Gorgorab, but he does revive everybody, so we'll be fine. No problem. Right now, I'm just ranting on, waiting to see for something to happen. Okay, so there we go. So our Septimus got nuked right away. And again, like I said, you're going to build somebody for Nightmare Clan Boss, Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss with high defense. That's how you do it. I mean, that's how you fight the Clan Boss, high defense. There is no other way to fight the Clan Boss besides high defense. That's how it works. So when you want to bring in somebody that's based off of attack, sure, it does damage based off of enemy max HP. So you can give him as much defense as possible, give him a little HP, and all he would need is critical damage with high crit. But is he really going to bring that much to the team? Even with extending debuffs, it's not that good. His debuff extension is it varies so much that you could one game be like, okay, he did a decent job at extending debuffs. The next game you could be like, wow, why did I even have this guy in my team? Because I've played him before, believe me. It's just, he needs to be increased, and really he needs the AoE on there. And I think then he would be a great champion. Sure, he did just as much damage as Seer did right there with his A2. But could you imagine if it was AoE helping us out going through waves like a Royal Guard? So normally I would bring in a Royal Guard, I would bring in an Altan, you bring in somebody that does massive damage. I mean, look at Seer. Seer just nuked the side champions along with a boss. So, yes, I want him revised. I don't want just his AI fixed. I want him revised. Sure, his AI is fixed. But now that his AI is fixed, please let me know, where are you guys using him? Where are you enjoying using him? Is this a 6-star? Yeah, we could look at that. Crit rate, accuracy, and speed. We could roll on that just to see what kind of hits we get. So that's really it. Let's go over my Septimus and see what kind of gear he has on him. Hopefully I've been saying Septimus the whole time because I don't know. There he is. He looks cool. You know, we don't have that many great banner lords. I want him to do well. Of course, I have critical damage. I even have attack. That's why he's falling over so quickly, to even do more damage. Could put attack on the boots. Sure. Accuracy to make sure he can extend debuffs. And that's it. I mean, if I bring him into the clan boss, I'm going to have to go defense chest, defense boots, HP, and then critical damage, and then try to even get enough accuracy that I don't need this banner and go for a defense banner. If I was legitimately going to play him in Ultra Nightmare. Nightmare is not as hard. We don't need as, you know, the requirement, of course, for defense isn't as high there to keep going, to keep the staying power, to keep there. But still, you're going to need it, right? You're definitely going to need it, and that's how I would equip him. So right now, all I have on him is 249 critical damage with 90% to crit. Okay, I didn't even have 100% crit. And then 3,627 attack. And that is it. That's all I've got on him. And that's Septimus. I mean, as you saw, for masteries, I just went down here for a little extra critical damage. Do more damage if they have higher max HP. And then I went down here to have a higher chance to extend debuffs if it works for that. And then Master Hexer was always like, does it work? Does it not work? Is he doing additional, you know, turns for the duration of debuffs off of War Master is what it was back in the day, or something. I don't know. It was doing something weird. So if I did take him in the clan boss, I'd have to come down here to War Master, of course, to get some more damage, get away from the critical damage, and then here it really doesn't matter. We could even try to get him to counterattack sometimes. Whatever you want to do, however you want to make your teams. But that's it for Septimus. Please let me know in the comments below what you think about him, or do you think I'm crazy? Let me know, and I'll see you guys all on a video soon.